All right, hello and welcome to another Let's Read. I'm DaveTerenas,
And I am J.M. Goldstein.
and today we're going to be reading for you Playing the Trust Test. It's by Lidsworth, and this is a Harry Potter fan fiction. And I think this needs to be said. This is not for. I really wouldn't make this for anybody, but this is quite disturbing.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not for children, but it's not for sane human beings in general.
Right, and so there is kind of a warning at the beginning, but if you don't know what Yowie or Mpreg are, then you're not going to be at all prepared for what's coming.
Yeah, because I had to learn the hard way.
So let's just jump right into it. Alright, author's note. I thought of this because I thought of it. Hope you enjoy it. Warnings, Yowie, Mpreg. Disclaimer, I do now own Harry Potter. It's kind of a frightening thought when...
Yeah, that's your, imagine like J.K. Rowling having a disclaimer like that at the beginning of her books.
Sorry everybody, Lidsworth now owns Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Alright, anyway.
Dark day.
Ooh.
This is the fourth time this week that Draco had locked himself in the bathroom and hurried himself over to toilet for hours. Blaze had been keeping count and reminded Draco, through the closed bathroom door, that it had only been Tuesday. He'd been throwing up 2 times a day and hadn't been able to keep his food down. It was worse than last week, and Blaze suggested Draco go straight St. Mungo's. Not the gay St. Mungo. But Draco refused. He'd had no doubt in what was wrong with him.
The door suddenly flung open, causing Blaze to jump out of the way. The image of the friend dampened his day considerably. Draco was not just pale, he appeared to be ghastly white. His hair and skin had been drenched with his constant sweating. His polo was completely soaked. He had a towel over his mouth, grasping it tightly. And if that wasn't bad enough, his mood swings were constant. One moment he'd be calm and silent, which wasn't Draco at all. Then the next he'd be yelling at Blaze for no apparent reason,
Which was
is apparently Draco, yes.
Yeah. You know, Draco, I don't think going to class today would be such a good idea. You'll be vomiting the whole day. Blaze insisted as he rushed to Draco's side. Draco shoved Blaze off, only to Blaze's dismay. Really? You didn't see that coming? Draco was being stubborn again, something he'd been doing much more often. He always does. Shove off, Blaze, Draco shouted, his voice muffled by the towel.
Shut off, Blaze.
Oh, thank you. I know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm doing.
Blaze sighed. If Draco left this unattended, this was bound to get serious.
Why are you being so stubborn? Just go to St. Mungo's. I'm sure they can help, Blaze again insisted. Draco replied to this with a full-blown eye roll. Let's see about that, Blaze. The instant they see my arm, they'll most likely kick me out and report me for suspicious behavior. Blaze sighed at the memory of the events that took place near months ago.
Okay, yeah, I know what they're talking about. The war, Harry, Voldemort, and the Dark Mark. The mark stained the host permanently. Not even the strongest magic seemed to be able to remove it. It was just a reminder of the war and things that they were forced to do and relieved. Or at least Draco relived them, but only in his dreams. Blaze was used to hearing Draco scream at night, as was Pansy, because Pansy apparently sleeps in the same room. Since the war had ended, she'd become much more attentive towards him, and once discovering his condition, she rarely left his sight. Sneaking in the boys' dormitory was a complicated task, but she'd always found some way to pull it off. She'd always made excuses for why Draco wasn't in class, and had always helped him whenever she'd felt too sick to go to class.
Fine, fine, Blaze said. Why not just ask your parents for some help? You know they would. Draco sighed a sigh of annoyance.
Mpreg, Blaze, just as I said earlier, my father is sick, very sick. My mother is doing all she can for and to make matters worse, for this child? Why would they even bother after they found that out?
Because they're your parents. They don't care if it's Harry's child or not. You're their son, and they love you more than anything. They'll get sad if you hide things like this from him, Blaze retorted.
Well,
Draco said, removing the towel and walking back to the bathroom.
I
I don't care. I don't need to stress them anymore. My father's magic was drained since the war, and his sickness isn't making things better.
Blaze nodded. He could now hear the sink water running, which indicated that Draco was brushing his teeth. Blaze walked toward the bathroom and knocked on the frame. What? Draco asked, still brushing his teeth. Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Or, might as well.
Yeah.
With much hesitation, Blaze gathered up as much courage as possible and asked the forbidden question. Why don't you just tell Harry the truth?
For a short while, it was silent, and then Draco began to choke on the toothpaste.
Oh, God!
Oh, sorry.
I think he vomited it, though.
I got carried away. Blaze again rushed to his friend's side, this time remaining, if you know what I mean. He really had no idea what to do while Draco choked. It's just toothpaste, God. Where would he grab him? And would hitting him back only hurt him more? His stomach? No, that was a bad idea.
Oh, fortunately for Blaze, Draco breathed again, and all was at peace. And that was short-lived. As soon as Draco had finally rinsed his mouth, he turned toward Blaze with full fury and started choking again. I'm sorry. His eyes were literally on fire, and he was turning red.
Wow. Tell Harry the truth. Draco had started off quietly, and then he repeated it. Tell Harry the truth. Blaze should have known this would have ignited something that was slowly dying. Draco near Blaze at an extraordinary pace, and Blaze took a visible step back. He doesn't even know, Blaze. What truth am I supposed to tell him? Draco spat out sarcastically. He doesn't even want to see me. He hates me, Blaze. Hates me. His voice lessened at the last line, and a hint of sadness floated about it. Blaze sighed. Draco was confused, so very confused. I am too.
Blaze hated to see his best friend like this.
Fine. We don't have to tell him, but can we, meaning Pansy and I, take you to St. Mungo's, please? Blaze asked for the 100th time. We want to see both of you alive in the end. This last line seemed to warm Draco's broken heart. With a weak smile, he nodded. Fine. You wouldn't stop asking until I said yes, right? Blaze nodded. Right.
After school then, but first we need to ask Pansy, Draco said, tying his tie around his neck. All right, he did, Blaze replied with a light chuckle. See you in a bit. And with that, Blaze disappeared into the school, leaving Draco in the room alone.
He slowly trailed in front of the full-bodied mirror to face himself. With a sigh, he had put his hand over his abdomen and lightly rubbed it. To his dismay, he could feel a small bump forming in the area. He closed his eyes, rubbed his head. Class would be starting any time now. Breakfast usually lasted longer than it did today, and he was lucky Blaze had decided to skip just for him. The two had told Pansy that she should eat.
Pansy had been staying up with Draco for months now, and it was obvious that this was all eating away at her. Draco and Blaze had been deeply concerned for her health. She'd cared so much about the two. She'd reminded Draco of his parents. Both were fading away, his father faster than his mother.
For months, but now he's just at morning sickness. I don't question. He quickly pushed these grim thoughts to the back of his mind and searched for a vest he could wear. Besides, he didn't want Harry to catch a glimpse of what lay under his shirt. What would he even say? At the moment, Draco didn't care. Harry had left him without even giving him a chance to speak, and naturally, everyone followed Harry. Well, not everyone. There were those who still helped, and Draco would need to consult them before he left for St. Mungo's after school. Until then, he'd brave the day out, praying to himself that he didn't vomit anymore.
Ooh! I had really planned for this chapter to be shorter than usual. Please review. I don't mind what kind of feedback you give me, just allow it to be helpful. I've been thinking of this throughout the day, and maybe I'll continue or maybe not. I'm working on an unrelated story at the moment, so hopefully I'll get back to this. Until then, have a nice week and God bless.
Okay, well, first of all, here's some feedback, and this will be very helpful. Stop. Just stop for the love of God. Now here's a side note. If you go to, what's the stupid name, Lidsworth, sorry. If you go to her channel, or page, whatever you want to call it, sorry, I'm used to YouTube, and you look at all of her stories, and I'm not sure how many she has. I'm thinking around 7.
10.
10. Oh. But 8 of those 10 maybe involve male pregnancy, rape, yaoi, that sort of thing.
It's really quite interesting. I don't understand how a person can think of this all day. And, well, I mean, that's the first thing. But the other thing I can't understand is, I've just been having these visions about Harry, Draco, child. I have to write about it.
Yeah, and if you look at, again, like some of the other stories, there's a story about Sirius finds Severus in some kind of shack, and he's been hurt, so he rapes Severus. And I don't understand that. Okay, I'll be honest with you, because I've been a Harry Potter fan since I was 9 or 10 years old, and I've never thought about that.
I've been a fan of how things actually work in real life since the day I was born, and I've never thought about men getting other men pregnant on a regular basis.
That's good, though.
Yeah. If you really don't mind what kind of feedback you're getting, well, my God, it has 60 reviews. This chap touched my heart, winky face. I was at the verge of tears. Why, Draco? I love the story. Some kind of I can't read anymore.
That's a cat face. Poor Draco.
Poor Draco, indeed. But,
I also really like how they take Draco so out of character and make, I don't know, they try to make him out to be like some really romantic person. I don't know.
Okay, here's an idea for a fan fiction. If there has to be some kind of rape, pregnancy, have Draco rape Hermione. It sounds horrible, I know. It's terrible, but it at least almost makes more sense than this.
Well, you know what, though? You know what I would like to see is Pansy Perkins pregnant. Because Pansy's pretty hot. Well, at least the actor is in the movie, and I don't mean the early movies. I mean like now, you know.
Okay,
I will be vindicated. Okay.
we will roll with that. And with that, I think we're about done here. I'm really sorry you had to listen to that. And
But it was for your own good, by the way.
I promise the next one will be something you'll enjoy. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.